It's almost 20 years since September 11th, 2001. And if you're my age, you probably remember it very well. I do. I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, and I remember how shocked, increasingly shocked we were as events went on. Now, we were told at the time that this was world changing, that the world was never going to be the same again. And in many ways, that was correct, but probably not in the way that we were expecting. Only days after, the occupant of the White House at the time, George W. Bush, declared that Islam was a religion of peace. And we have been living with that lie from politicians almost daily since. It is a lie, and we have slipped into a world of lies. It's almost like we're living in an alternative reality where lies are promoted as truth and the truth is dismissed as hate. And if you've tried to tell a few uncomfortable truths in public, you'll know what it's like to have it portrayed as hate. I and many others have put up with this for years. But since 9/11, it seems to be the fact, seems to be the case that we have ramped up the legitimization, the sanitization of Islam. You would expect it to have gone in the other direction. And we've had terror attack after terror attack. The London bombings happened a few years after 9/11. And there have been several since, several in France, several in Germany, Sweden. The list goes on and on and on. And after every one of them, the politicians do what George W. Bush did after 9/11, which is lie and declare that it has nothing to do with Islam. Islam is a religion of peace. You even have the spectacle of politicians misquoting the Quran to prove it. We have jihadi groups openly hostile to Western civilization being invited onto mainstream media to lie and to pretend that Islam is peaceful, to hide their true agenda. They're even invited into the White House or the Houses of Parliament or other government establishments around the Western world. We're living in an alternate universe, and it has ramped up since 9/11. Now, the globalist elite clearly want to bring about the complete transformation or dismantlement of Western society. And to do it, they have to increase and increase and increase mass migration, most of that migration coming from the Muslim world. Now, with what recent events in Afghanistan, we will see another influx. Daily here in the UK, people arrive illegally on our shores and are not only allowed to stay, but housed in hotels by the government and then given long-term accommodation by the government while British people sleep on the streets. This mass migration is being done deliberately. It is transforming our society. We have rape gangs, all of which are sanitized, made up exclusively of Muslims, but sanitized and nothing to do with Islam, the usual stuff. We have halal food, whether we like it or not. We have FGM and clinics dedicated to the repair of young girls' bodies after FGM, several of them throughout the UK. And this is happening all over Europe. This is continuing and will continue because it is an effective tool to bring about the end of the liberties that Western civilization has created over centuries. This is the dismantlement. This is the transformation. This is, many people call, a new world order. That is what's coming. And mass migration is a big part of it. The sanitization, the lies, the legitimization of Islam is part of the mass migration, because if they didn't lie, then people might object. So the politicians and the mainstream media collude in this lie to quash any objections to this mass migration of Muslims into our society. If you tell the truth, expect to be unpersoned. We are living in Orwell's 1984. This continues largely because of fear. Politicians are either corrupt, anti-Western, or in complete denial about what they have done to Western society. People are afraid to challenge their narrative. They're afraid to be unpersoned, but they're also afraid, very afraid, to face the truth, the realities of what our politicians have done to us and to future generations. Facing that harsh reality is a difficult thing to do. It's a frightening thing to do. Now, we've had 20 years of this, accelerating since 9/11. If we don't want another 20 years of it, we have to face the truth. The truth about the dismantling of Western society, the truth about the betrayal, incompetence and corruption of our politicians, the truth about Islam, and the truth that we must and can stop this, but only if we face up to reality. So 20 years on, let's use this anniversary to turn the tide and not allow the next 20 years to be more of the same. It's time to tell the truth.